reading this? समझ में आया? Was it difficult? Not at all. Sankhya is one of the very easy philosophies. Okay. Theory of causality. What is theory of causality? So relation between cause and effect. Now all the Indian philosophies have given some or the other kind of causality. What kind of causality have we read in Buddhism? Pratitya Samutpad, which says effect is dependent on cause. Dependent origination. Theory of dependent origination, Pratitya Samutpad, the same thing. Fine. This is Pratitya Samutpad or theory of dependent origination. Apart from this, there are two other major theories in Indian philosophy. First is Satkaryavad. Satkaryavad, which says effect is already contained in cause, and effect is just the manifestation of cause. Where is tree? Tree. जो tree होती है पेड़. Where is tree already contained? In a seed. So just as tree is already contained in a seed, and tree is only a manifestation of the seed. Similarly, world is of the nature effect. World is like an effect which is already contained in Prakriti, and manifestation of Jagat is just the manifestation of Prakriti. Is it anything else? No. If we try to find the cause, first cause, we can say the first cause is Prakriti itself. So this is Satkaryavad. And they have also given various arguments to prove their point. How can you prove that cause is already present in effect? Can you give me some arguments? Okay, effect doesn't arise without the cause. Okay, fine. But we are talking about effect is already contained. Simply, curd is already contained in milk. Isn't it? Curd is already contained in milk. Do you have any arguments? अच्छा, ex nihilo nihil fit. ये पढ़ के बोला तुमने? अच्छा, पहले पढ़ा हुआ है. Philosophy student. Okay. So we can we say first that nothing comes out of nothing. Nothing comes out of nothing. There must be something if there is an effect. There must be something if there is an effect. This is what science also believes. This is what science also believes. Nihilo ex nihil fit. Nothing comes out of nothing. ये Latin में लिखा जाता है ना? This means that if there is an effect, it must be contained in a cause. First, can we say, can if there is no curd in a milk, can we apply any amount of effort to make curd come out? Example, curd is not in water. Now, whatever you do to water, will it convert to curd? Will any amount of effort be useful? No. Effort is only useful if effect is only contained in the cause. Because can you take out curd You can take out curd only from milk. Can you take out curd from water? बहुत मेहनत करी तुमने कहा नहीं 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 है ना. I will use the supersonic blender. But still, will the curd come out? No. No amount of effort can cause an effect which was not already contained in cause. Further, what is mostly required? The potent or potency. The cause must have a certain kind of potency to create cause. Milk has the potency to create curd, but orange juice does not. Can orange juice create curd? No. Why can't it create? Because it doesn't have the potency. It doesn't have the potential or potency within it. And can everything come out of everything? No. There are specific things coming out of specific things. Why? Because effect is already contained in. So these are the various arguments which have been provided by Sankhya philosophy to prove their theory of Satkaryavad. Direct question आता है. How Sankhya proves Satkaryavad? बस खत्म. And you write what is Satkaryavad? What are the various arguments? वो हम अभी पढ़ेंगे. You put their names and then you also criticize. Who have criticized? Sat. So the people who believe in Asat Karyavad will criticize. Those are Nyaya Vaisheshik and Pratyuttya Samutpad will criticize. And there is another Jain causal theory, Sat Asat Karyavad. Sat Asat Karyavad means both together. Balancing act of Jain's relativity. In our syllabus, in our PYQs, you will find questions on Satkaryavad and Asatkaryavad, majorly, always. Fine. Now, what will Asatkaryavad believe? If Satkaryavad believes that effect is already contained in cause, Satkaryavad will say effect is not already contained in cause. It's a new beginning. This is a new beginning. And because it accepts new beginning, can it be said Arambhavad? Therefore, Asatkaryavad is also known as Arambhavad. Simple. कमेंट कहाँ गया? बच्चे डिलीट भी कर सकते हैं? ओके, ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? Now be ready for some very difficult Hindi terms, because it's not necessary that you write those Hindi terms, but it is better, because even if you explain what is meant by those Hindi terms, it's fine. Nobody is going to cut any marks. But yes, if you write them, it gives you a edge. The perception is that you have learned, you have put in effort to learn those terms. Fine? Okay, let us read. Kursi rakho. Starting से पढ़े? From the first page. Essence. The essence is same. in the form, not in the essence, in the form. We will do that. अभी आएगा वो argument है इसके अंदर, है ना? We will do this argument. Okay. So in the first page, do you find anything which you don't understand? Understandable? Ma'am, is Asat Karyavad like Charvak? No, not exactly. Now let us see. So Satkaryavad says effect pre-exists in cause and it is supported by Sankhya. Asatkaryavad you have seen and Pratitya Samutpad. And if you find some space, you can also write Asat Asat Karyavad of Jainism. Sankhyan metaphysics, especially its doctrine of Prakriti, is based on the theory of Satkaryavad or theory of causation. According to it, effect pre-exists in the cause as a potential condition. So potentially Jagat is already contained in Prakriti, already contained. Effect is mere modification of cause. Now see these terms. You can use these terms in your answers. When you are expressing formation of Jagat from Prakriti, is it a new creation? No, it is just the modification. So see these terms. Effect ka matlab Jagat, cause matlab Prakriti. Jagat is modification of Prakriti. Jagat is development of Prakriti. Jagat is redistribution of Prakriti. Jagat is making explicit of Prakriti. So Prakriti was implicit, very subtle, but moment it converts into Jagat, it becomes explicit. Jagat is transformation of Prakriti. इसमें और भी हम लोग words use कर सकते हैं. Differentiation. Jagat is the differentiation of Prakriti. Jagat is the organization of Prakriti. All these are just English terms, nothing else. But they all mean the same. That Jagat is already contained in Prakriti and Prakriti gives rise to Jagat or evolves into Jagat. Prakriti itself evolves into Jagat. Just like milk itself converts into curd. Fine. अब कर्ड वापस से मिल्क नहीं बनती, लेकिन यहाँ पे जगत वापस से प्रकृति में चला जाता है. आविर्भाव एंड तिरोभाव बिकॉज ऑफ द साइक्लिकल नेचर. Yes, we can say, but actually it's not like this. It's you know, it has been explained in Sankhyan philosophy like a turtle. Have you seen a turtle? No? So how does it so it puts its neck out, and once it withdraws its neck inside, is it like outside is causing the inside? No. Ultimately, it is only the inside thing, but it is just the expression and coming back, expression and coming back. So the cause and effect will not switch. Because it has been explained by the turtle example. Turtle example Sankhya nahi diya. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, effect is not a new beginning or creation, rather only explicit manifestation of what was implicitly contained in material cause. What is the material cause? Prakriti. In essence, there is no essential difference between effect and cause. This means the essence remains same. Prakriti is also material. Jagat is also material. Prakriti is also unconscious. Jagat is also unconscious. Rather, only a difference of form or state. Only what is different? Form. Clay, ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ clay, and clay figures. What is different? Only the form. Is the clay different? No, clay is the same. What is different? Only the form it takes. So Prakriti in subtle nature, a lot of particles, random running here and there. When it converts into Jagat, we see organization. We see this table. What is this table? Prakriti itself, just the organization of those subtle particles. Just. Fine? Consciousness, yes, it is there. But how is it? Just like a reflection. Clear? In essence, there is no difference between effect and cause, rather only a difference of form or state. Cause is unmanifested effect and effect is manifested cause. Example, we can take a lot of examples. Number 1, curd, milk and curd. Number 2, clay and pot. Number 3, seeds and oil. All of these can be taken up as example. Apart from this also, you can take any number of examples. But these 3 were talked about by Sankhya. These are authentic examples. Fine. Now, let us come to Satkaryavad. Next page. Now, Satkaryavad itself is divided into 2. Parinamvad and Vivartvad. Parinam means Parinam is basically not Parinam. वो वाला Parinam नहीं जो conclusion या result वाला है. It is something measurable. है ना? Something measurable. So, it is the real modification. When we say Parinamvad, we talk about real modification. Just like milk really itself modifies into curd. Direct modification hota hai. That is Parinamvad. And what is Vivartvad? Once you were going in a dark forest and there was rain. There was rain and something slithering touched your. अरे तुम लोग याद ही नहीं कर पा रहे हो एग्जाम्पल को. Touched your feet. You thought it was, but it was rope. So on this rope, so does the rope really transform into snake? No, but it only appeared illusion. It only appeared as snake, or it was only an illusion. So if the change is only an illusion, we call it Vivartavad. Who will believe it? Shankaracharya. We will see what Shankaracharya will do. अच्छा, कभी घर वालों को ऐसे कहते सुना है कि ये सब तो मोह माया है, तुम्हारी आंखों से माया का पर्दा हट जाएगा तो तुम्हें सच्चाई दिखाई दे जाएगी. Have your parents ever said these things to you? That if you no, this means your parents are also embroiled in. So it is like Maya has been understood in Advaita Vedanta as causing the illusion, as the one which is causing us to see this world, which is just like something playing on the screen. So when Shah Rukh Khan dies in a movie, he really dies? Pakka? Bas wahi. So the change we see on a movie screen, it is just a vivarth. Vivarth means unreal, illusory. So Vivartvad. But if we see real modification, if we are saying that change is real, Prakriti really itself changes into Jagat, Parinamvad. And then Parinamvad is also of 2 kinds. Prakriti Parinamvad, Sankhyan philosophy, because they believe in Prakriti. Later on, we will read Ramanuja. Ramanuj as a Vedantic philosopher. He will talk about Brahm Parinamvad. What is Brahm Parinamvad? Real modification of Brahm into Jagat. देख लिया क्लासिफिकेशन देखा? देखो देखो देखो, याद करो. Ma'am, how Jagat is unconscious? Mountain, river, table, everything is unconscious except only one thing, that is Jeev, and Jeev is a reflection of Purush. Although it is a reflection. निखिल क्या ये हटाओ ना बीच से. हाँ, although it is the reflection only, but still this reflection of consciousness exists in Jagat. Yes, it exists in Jagat, but majorly it is just a what do you say, evolute of Prakriti. Therefore, it is accepted as unconscious. Ma'am, what does it mean by Brahm into Jagat? Aman, it is said by Ramanuj, and we will be able to understand it when we do Ramanuj, of course, है ना? Curd is dependent on milk, but it is not already contained in milk. It is like, according to Pratitya Samutpad, the milk goes away and then comes curd. And this relation, milk hoga, then curd hoga, this is a dependent relation, whereby curd will come from, not from milk, but after milk. Curd will come after milk. But what Satkaryavad is saying? It is saying curd is already contained in milk. It is just a change of form. Yani ki ghee, butter, curd, all of cheese, all of these things are already contained in milk. It is just the manifestation. Just the manifestation. Like tree is already contained in seed. It is just the manifestation. Only after some time you see a tree and you see, oh, tree. But was the tree something new? It was already contained in the seed. So that containment theory that it has is Satkaryavad. By n number of ways. There are 4 ways I have told you here. Majorly 3. Hai na? One is Satkaryavad. Now you will say, which one is the right one? We don't know. Neither science knows. None of all the philosophies will support their own, and they will give their philosophy supporting their own causality or causal theory. Fine. So Sankhya people and Vedanta people believe in Satkaryavad. They say effect is nothing new. It was already contained in the cause. And therefore they accept Jagat is nothing new. It was already contained in the Prakriti. Now, who will they be criticized by? Who will criticize Satkaryavad? Satkaryavadins who are Nyaya Vaisheshik and Pratitya Samutpad and Sata Satkaryavad of Jainism. They all will criticize. Bas, ye sab inke criticism ho gaya. And why and how they will criticize? On what reasons? What arguments? Perfect. बिल्कुल न्याय ने भी यही बोला. If effect is already contained in cause, then why do we require? वो कौन बोलेगा? It is just the argument thing. Now Nyaya also says, Nyaya says, if effect is already contained in cause, then why do you require a potter? Why do you require a potter? If pot is already contained in clay, then why is it required that a potter makes a clay? You require water. Efficient cause. मिल्क में भी चर्निंग करना पड़ता है या लैक्टोबैसिलस की जरूरत पड़ती है कर्ड बनाने के लिए? Then why is it required if it is already contained in the cause? Second argument, if they both are same in essence, why don't we call it with the same name? Why do we need two names for it, milk and curd? हाँ, अब ये you people please pick a side. हाँ, cause and effect की साइड. ये सब cause and effect की साइड है. अच्छा, so how many of you know the concept of catalyst? What is a catalyst? Does it get used? Indirect. Well, there can be direct and indirect catalyst, but yes, here it is. Living के अंदर भी catalyst नहीं है. Living also is not having Purusha. It is just the reflection of Purusha, which assumes Purush को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. Purush, the transcendental Purush is absolutely carefree, unattached, free, pure consciousness. It is only the reflection in some pockets of Prakriti. Now, because this reflection is also a kind of a consciousness, it's also a kind of an illumination. This little illumination starts thinking itself as Purush, or it starts thinking itself as being attached to Prakriti, not Purush. It starts thinking itself as being attached to Prakriti, assuming an identity of itself. I don't know if you people see science fiction, but understand it like this. If there is a huge organism and this organism का छोटा सा bit हो, वो भी अपने आप में चलने लगता है और अपनी एक नया organism बन सकता है. Something like this. Huh? Yes, something like that. But here it's not the right example. है ना? Don't take it. Give it back. It is the subtlest pockets of Prakriti will develop into Mahat. Subtlest, the most subtle areas. So when you see any unorganized mass, is it evenly unorganized? But it has some pockets of rarity and rarefaction and what do you say, grossness? So the subtlest areas or pockets will develop into Mahat, and Mahat will develop into Ahankar. Ahankar will give rise to all the other things. But will consciousness or Purush get reflected in gross things? Will not get reflected in gross things. So gross things, will they have any reflection of Purusha? No, they will not have. So understand it like this. There are certain mirrors in the sea of stones. Where will the moon get reflected? Purush, both are independent. They come together. Criticism करेंगे हम. Jiva is understood only as Swapadik Purush. The reflection of Purush, which assumes an identity of its own and then undergoes birth, death, suffering, and undergo karma. No, nothing. No, sensory is only the byproduct of consciousness. Had there been no consciousness, there would have been no use of sensory organs. So until and unless, so the moment somebody dies, our eyes vanish? No, they remain. Retina, cornea, everything remains. Brain remains. When everything remains, what goes? Consciousness. This means no sensory organ is operational or useful until and unless it is having the illumination of consciousness. Until and unless it is having the illumination of consciousness. Understand it like electricity. Until and unless there is electricity, you have supercomputer with you. What will you do with the supercomputer if you don't have electricity? It's just a material thing with no use. Only when you put it under electricity or consciousness will things work. Right? Catalyst increases the speed. Yes, ma'am, can you please explain again how Satkaryavad relates to Parinamvad and Vivartvad? So Satkaryavad is divided into two types. One is Parinamvad. Parinamvad means real modification. It says milk itself transforms into curd, real modification. Whereas, and now this real modification is of two types. One is Prakriti Parinamvad of Sankhya, and second is Brahm Parinamvad of Ramanuj. Ramanuj one you will understand when we will do Ramanuj. Fine. Another one is Vivartvad. What is Vivart? Illusion. Illusion. Vivarт का हिंदी मतलब इंग्लिश मतलब होता है illusion. विवर्त अपने आप में हिंदी वर्ड है. So Vivartvad. It says that the modification is not real but only illusory. Like, you see this water? If I put a pen inside it, what will happen? So because of refraction, the pen will appear bent. But is it bent? Will it be bent? No. So is the modification or is the change real? Is the bending real? No. It is only a Vivartvad. And why is it appearing bent? Because of refraction. बस यही वेदांत क्या बोलेगा? ये रिफ्रैक्शन क्या है? माया. और जो पेन है वो क्या है? Brahm. Brahm remains Brahm. It doesn't change. It is us who finds that things are changing only because of Agyan given us by Maya. Fine. वेदांत में करेंगे, वेदांत में करेंगे, वेदांत की चिंता वेदांत में करेंगे. वेदांत की चीज वेदांत में ही करेंगे. वेदांत is not something which can be understood like a side thing. It's not a side dish. It is a main course. इनकी बहुत डिटेल्ड एवोल्यूशनरी थ्योरी है. So there are not just one pockets, various pockets of various densities. No. Transcendental Purush is only one. But if somebody asks, how many Purushas are there in Sankhya philosophy? Now. Sankhya philosophy, I told you there is one confusion they have always carried. Phenomenal ego and transcendental ego. Always confused. Because they call that also Purusha. And all phenomenal egos are also called by them as Purush. And they have also supported Bahupurushvad to explain the phenomenon. So somebody asked, how can there be so many jivas? How can there be so many jivas? So they gave their arguments to save even the Bahupurushvad. Now, when you say Bahupurushvad and you give arguments for it, then how many Purushas does Sankhya believe in their philosophy? Many. But if you talk about ultimate reality, then how many? One. Clear? And we will criticize also. We will also criticize that if all the material things can be included into one Prakriti, then why can't all the jivas be included into one Purush? It makes sense. We will criticize. Yes, it's very close to Aristotle. So ये आखिरी में आएगा. So it is very close to Aristotle's philosophy. The potentiality cannot apply. So now even Satkarya cannot be put in there because both are there. No? Unless an efficient cause is applied to material cause, potentiality will not get the result. Effect now. Who said this? I mean, Aristotle there are four causes. Efficient cause is also a cause. But he reduced them to two causes. Form and matter. What is form? Form is the actual effect or actuality. And what is matter? Potentiality. Bas khatam. Khatam. Cause, effect. Matter, form. Potentiality, actuality. No need to complicate where there is no complication. Ma'am, please see my comment. Oh. हाँ, क्या comment है? रुको. Ma'am, if Purusha is already beyond liberation and bondage, then how and why Purusha attached to Prakriti? Does Purusha get attached to Prakriti? What gets attached to Prakriti? Reflection. धीरे. Ma'am, can you? अच्छा ये तो हो गया. Apparent modification. Meaning of Satkaryavad is Sat means hai, Karya means Karan Karya Siddhant. So in Hindi, causality and cause and effect are known as Karya Karan Siddhant. Karya means effect, Karan means cause. So Karan Karya Siddhant is the term for causality. So Sat Karyavad. कार्य इफेक्ट में ही कॉज है, ये शॉर्ट फॉर्म कर दिया गया. ठीक है, सत्कार्यवाद. मैम, साउंड, ईथर, टच, एयर आर दे तमस और राजस्थान? रजस. ओके, ऑटो करेक्ट हो गया बच्चे का. कोई बात. So they are the evolutes from tamas. They are the evolutes from tamas. Is Vivartvad saying that it is illusion that milk itself transforms into curd? No, Pratibha, don't think about it. Don't think anything about Vivartvad. Vivartvad we will do in great detail when we do Vedanta. Shankaracharya has talked only about this. There is only one concept. अभी समझ जाओगे तो वेदांत में क्या करेंगे हम, है ना? Shabnam. Is it like there are only one Prakriti always, but one and infinite Purusha, depending upon which Purusha we are talking about? Yes, something like this. Ma'am, can you give example of Asatkaryavad? Asatkaryavad we will do when we will do Nyaya. Nyaya Vaisheshik is based on Asatkaryavad. For quenching your thirst or query, so Asatkaryavad is based on atomic theory of evolution or creation, है ना? Creation theory of based on atoms. It's very close to science. Arambhavad. Okay. Both Satkaryavad is close to science as well as Asatkaryavad is close to science, and Pratyata Samutpad as well as Sat Asatkaryavad are close to science. Why? सब cause and effect की बात कर रहे हैं. And even in science, there are so many ways in which cause and effect has been explained. There is still fights in scientific communities over these concepts. Clear? Okay, let us see. So now Satkaryavad people have given arguments. Very important. In Satkaryavad and Asatkaryavad, there are only 2 or 3 types of questions asked, or rather one question majorly. What is Asatkaryavad? Yeah, what is Satkaryavad and how Sankhya has defended it? First question. Second question. What is Satkaryavad and how Nyaya rejected it? Third question. What is Asatkaryavad and how Nyaya defended it? Khatam. And in all the 3, you just have to write the same thing. Only what will differ? Proportion. Satkaryavad means, now tell me, what is Satkaryavad? It is a theory of causality which accepts effect pre-exists in cause. खत्म हो गया सत्कार्यवाद की definition. ठीक है? Then arguments. First argument, see here. असत कारणात. असत, अब देखो इसको, इसके अंदर हम लोगों को सिर्फ इन हिंदी टर्म्स को तोड़ के एक बार देखना है. They are not difficult. They are just Hindi terms which have been made by attaching 2-3 words. Like if I say, वो कौन से 3 idiots के अंदर किस किसने देखा था वो राजुलाइजेशन, प्री राजुलाइजेशन एंड हाँ फरहान नाइट्रेट. तो क्या किया था वहां पे? इट वाज जस्ट इंग्लिश बट वाज डन, थोड़ा जोड़ दिया, but it appeared very difficult. So even in English, if I attach 2-3 things, if I attach cause effect को अलग अलग ना करके cause effect, और उसकी स्पेलिंग को भी एक कर दिया जाए, 2-3 लोगों चीजों की स्पेलिंग को एक कर दिया जाए, तो it will appear difficult. शादी में जो कर रहे हैं, हाँ ऐसा कर रहे हैं. विरुष्का, वो तो फिर भी ठीक है, छोटा ही है ना. So just so what is here? Here only 2-3 terms of Hindi have been joined. If you know the breakup, it's easy to learn. Fine. So asat means not there. कार्य, ये कार्य का कार्य नाथ. ठीक है? असत कार्य नाथ, ये उसको छोटा करके लिख दिया बस. Now it says if effect does not pre-exist in cause, then it becomes a non-entity, like hare's horn. Hare's horn मतलब खरगोश के सींग. And no amount of effort on the part of agent can bring on non-existent object into existence. This means if curd is not present in milk, then no amount of effort can bring curd out. Just as curd is not present in water, therefore no amount of effort can bring curd out of water. If it is not there, asat. If it is not there, asat karnat. If effect is not there, then no amount of effort can bring the effect into being. स्पेलिंग के लिए कह रहे हैं असत अकारनाथ. हाँ तो वो ए जो है इसके अंदर, रुको You are saying it is asat akarnat. Sat from sat is producing. Yes. Karan या कार्य. हिंदी. संस्कृत. I will check. है ना? From some authentic source. एक बुक पढ़ी है. अच्छा नहीं, मेरे पास ये रुको. Actually this is transliteration. वैसे इसको ऐसे लिखना चाहिए. जैसे सत्कार्यवाद भी है तो यहाँ पे ये आता है ना? आ हो जाएगा, लेकिन वो अभी हम इसलिए नहीं कर रहे हैं क्योंकि it will complicate things for now. And this is something, if we learn at the end, we will apply it on the terms later on. हाँ, ये भी है, ये भी करेंगे हम बाद में. Charvak will also change. Yes, it will also change. But if you put but even if you don't put transliteration, it doesn't affect anybody. You don't have to use transliteration first. It doesn't make any difference in your marks. See the copies of toppers. None of them has used transliteration. Only few people use it who are very proficient with it. Fine? So no worries. नहीं, बैठो बैठो बैठो. क्या? Hold on. CD शर्मा ने तो दे नहीं रखा. We will do it, है ना? Printed में मिल जाएगा. Don't worry. बात समझ में आ गई? संस्कृत we will find. संस्कृत के अंदर क्या उसका वो है connotation. But apart from that, it is that effect cannot be produced if it is already not in the cause. No amount of effort can produce. तो यहाँ पे सबसे important term क्या है? No amount of effort. याद करना है ना? ये सारे arguments एक जैसे लगेंगे. All these arguments appear like same because they are talking about the same thing. You just have to find one or two terms so that you learn them. You can connect what they are talking about. Fine. Second is Upadan Grahanat. What is Upadan? Upadan means material cause. Material cause. So effect is manifestation of cause as it is invariably connected with effect. Example, jar can be produced by clay only. Can you produce jar by water? Milk? No. Jar can only be produced by clay because it is causally connected. Like curd can only be produced from milk because it is causally connected. So what is the most important term here? Invariably connected. Highlight. Not different. All of them are same, but only A subtle difference in argument, nothing else. They all are saying the same thing, that effect pre-exists in cause. Just different way to prove the same conclusion. सर्व संभव अभवात. सर्व संभव अभवात. Sarv means all, Sambhav means possible, Abhavat means not possible. Sarv, सब कुछ सबसे possible नहीं. सब कुछ सबसे possible नहीं. Everything cannot be produced out of everything. Only certain things can be produced from certain causes. Can you produce curd from all the causes? No, only milk. Certain causes. Important term क्या है यहाँ पे? Everything. Sarva, everything. Fine. Then Shakta से शक्य कारणात. Shakta से शक्य कारणात. A cause can produce effect because it has necessary potency or causal efficiency. It must have. So cause must have what? Necessary potency. It must have potential to produce effect. So important term is necessary potency. Potential or potency. Potency is a medicine has a potency to treat the disease. कहते हैं ना इसकी पोटेंसी कितनी है, मेडिसिन की कितनी पोटेंसी है, कितनी इसके अंदर पावर है. So it's like power of bringing into effect. Sanskrit terms. Shakta से शक्य कारणात. Then कारण अभवात. कारण अभवात. If it is not essentially different from cause, there is, if nahi, if काट दो. It is not essentially different from its cause. There is identity of essence between cause and effect. So the essence between cause and effect is same. Like milk is a dairy product, curd is a dairy product. Til has oil in it, therefore we get til ka tel or oil of seeds. Can you get oil from sand? सैंड से मिल सकता है ऑयल? नहीं. क्यों? फर्स्ट पोटेंसी नहीं है, कॉजली कनेक्टेड नहीं है. हाउ सो effort you put in. Can you see? We are just remembering one term and we can give 5 arguments. Because if you try to learn these 5 arguments, they all appear same. You will not be able to remember them. है ना? समझ में आ गया? अब कौन बता सकता है पांचों? सिर्फ वो टर्म्स बताने हैं. टर्म्स बताने और आर्गुमेंट बताना है. रेज योर हैंड. Is it that difficult? नहीं नहीं, टर्म मत बताओ. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू टू टेल मी उपादान ग्रहणात. I'm not asking that. I'm just asking the term like everything or causal potency or these things that we have underlined and the argument. Now raise your hands. What is the term? No amount of effort. No amount of effort. Now give me the argument.
Argument says that effect pre-exists in cause. So whatever amount of effort you put in, you will not.
If effect is not within the cause, then no amount of effort can bring the effect. ठीक है? Second.
Second one is like everything has an effect. Cause has the effect.
Don't change the sequence. Sit. What is the second one? Raise your hand का कोई मतलब कोई औचित्य होता होगा? Okay. Second is invariably connected. Fine. Third. Raise your hands. Yes. Everything cannot be produced out of everything. Fourth. Potency. Argument. अब potency नहीं लिखना एग्जाम में.
Cause
Yes. Cause must have the potency to produce the effect. Fifth. Essence of identity. Fine. लिख लोगे पांचों आर्ग्यूमेंट? लिखो. बंद करो कॉपी. आज यहीं पे याद करके. Nothing happens tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. हो गया? The Sanskrit terms you can remember later, not an issue. अरे 5 ही तो पॉइंट है. बगल में पूछ लो. दोस्त बनाओ. दोस्त बनाओ. Not everything is what do you say? पूछो. लर्न पक्का? तुम्हें चाहिए था ना कल? आओ लिखो. हाँ. कम. कल नहीं, आज. हाँ हाँ.
If there is no effect, if there is no effect present in a cause, then how much effort we will be putting in there?
effect will not come out. बिल्कुल perfect, fine. ठीक है, correct तुम लोग बताओगे correct है कि नहीं? Correct. चलो मान लिया. Second,
invariably connected. That jar can be formed by clay only, not by something else.
okay, because effect is invariably connected with
Cause.
चलो ठीक है, मान लिया.
And third one is everything cannot produce everything. Everything
cannot produce everything. ठीक है, बिल्कुल. Fourth,
And the fourth one is that potency.
हाँ.
We have potential in a cause to produce an effect.
effect. ठीक है, ठीक है. Fifth,
And the fifth one, there should be an essence.
identity of essence
Identity.
between cause and effect. Example, milk and curd and seed and oil. Very good. Good. Very good. Why do you people keep procrastinating on tomorrow? If you can learn today, why to keep it on? Learn today. It's better. Fine? Okay. Now arguments against Satkaryavad will be given by Nyaya Vaisheshik, Hinyan Buddhism, Materialist Mimamsa. Materialism believes in Swabhavvad. Hinyan believes in Anitya Pramanvad or Pratitya Samutpad. You can write. And you can also write Sat Asat Karyavad of Jainism. All these will be criticizing Satkaryavad. Fine. And the criticism will be majorly, chaho to niche likh lo, criticism by Nyaya. If effect is already contained in cause, criticism by Nyaya है. Oh, देखो है. Nyaya Vaisheshik. If effect is pre-existing in cause, then it makes no sense to say that effect is produced. We always say कि दही बन गई. तो अगर दही पहले से थी तो क्या बन गई? We always say effect is produced, but if it is already there, why do we call it is produced? समझ में आ गया? First. Secondly, if it is already there, then why do we need the agency? The lactobacillus or the potter? Do we require? We require, but if it is already there, we should not have required a potter to make figurines. And if cause and effect are essentially same, then why don't we use the same name and use it for the same purpose? अगर दोनों same है, उसी में ही already है, यानी कि if oil is already in the seeds, then chalk seeds में ही लगा दो. Body पे seeds ही लगा लो. लॉजिक नहीं होता क्रिटिसिज्म में. When we criticize, we criticize. हाँ. But they share the same essence. They all are dairy. Yeah, that is it's a criticism. हाँ, अब और क्या बोलेगा? सांख्य बोलेगा नहीं, there is only a difference of form. We are not saying it is same. It is different. Essence is same, but what is different? Only form. Here seeds, oil are within seeds, and here we have extracted and changed the form. यहाँ solid था, यहाँ liquid हो गया. But now Nyaya will say, even if something is changing, something is really different. Even if form is different, something is different. This means effect is different from cause. Asat Karyavad. It goes against the. So unke criticisms hai. When Nyaya will criticize, they will criticize just to prove Asat Karyavad. And when Sankhya will defend, they will defend only to defend Sat Karyavad. Sometimes they will be logical and sometimes they will be illogical.
और जब ये न्याय पे बातें बोलते हैं कि वो मतलब अलग अलग और वो एक साथ है तो how can they say कि नाम अलग मतलब नाम एक ही नहीं लगता then they are agreeing on the fact कि हाँ cause अलग एक
वो तो सांख्य को क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं. They are saying कि if you are saying, so Nyaya people are saying that if Sankhya believes that oil and seeds are the same thing, oil was already contained in the seeds, then why not to use the same name? Why not to use the same name and use it for the same purpose? ये उनके लिए बोल रहे हैं. Point of view. Absolutely. I told you, na, neither Satkaryavad is wrong, neither Asatkaryavad is wrong. They are just different ways of understanding the causality, cause and effect relation. हाँ. So it is the क्या कह रही है मैम? Can you explain कारण अभावात again? बताओ, what is कारण अभावात? अच्छा, बेटे में बाप के गुण रहेंगे. The essence is same in cause and effect, है ना? So essence doesn't change. Like milk is a dairy, and all the products we get from it are dairy. Seeds. मस्टर्ड सीड्स से भी वैसी खुशबू आती है जैसी मस्टर्ड ऑयल से आती है. व्हाट इज सेम? एसेंस. फाइन. चलो, ये हो गया हमारा सत असत कार्यवाद. क्वेश्चंस लगाएं, PYQs लगाओ. We will do it in न्याय वैशेषिक, है ना? अरे इसको टिकाओ. हाँ, सत्कार्यवाद के अलग से हैं क्या इसमें? रुको 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 रुको. अब क्वेश्चंस देखते जाना. देखो, अब हम क्वेश्चंस इसलिए देख रहे हैं क्योंकि अभी हम ये सब दोबारा से चीजें देखेंगे. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो, 22. Examine and evaluate the proofs given by Sankhya philosophy to prove existence of Purush. Arguments हम पढ़ेंगे अभी. Direct. Explain the Sankhyan view on 3 gunas, Gunatraya, and their modification. Can you write this? This we have done. What are the 3 gunas? ठीक है. And their modification you can write. Pralaya avastha, Visham avastha, and how they lead to the evolution. Okay, fine. With Sankhyan proof for existence of Prakriti actually shows there can be only one Prakriti. These proofs also we will do. Critically discuss the metaphysical status of Jeev and Purusha according to Sankhya philosophy. What is the metaphysical status of Jeev and Purush? Jeev क्या है? What is Purush? Pure consciousness. This means Purush, which is the ultimate reality, is pure consciousness, eternal, absolute, independent, all the things we have read, वो सब आ जाएंगे. And Jiva is a reflection or Swapadhik Purush. It is the Swapadhik Purush, phenomenal ego. And what are the characteristics of a Swapadhik Purush? It is within this world, and it is subject to birth and death, undergoes suffering. अरे जेनरिक नहीं है ये वही नहीं है जेनरिक एकदम. It undergoes suffering, and if it has to remove the suffering, what they will have to do? Will it have to do good karma or bad karma? First and foremost, differentiate between Prakriti and Purush. They must realize that this body is not mine. This world is not mine. And only when they identify themselves as Purush, they become liberated and gone. यही था liberation? Sure? अभी हम लोग एक बार दोबारा से सारी सीक्वेंस करेंगे ही, बट स्टिल हमने कल तो किया ही ये. Okay, fine. Okay. Is Purusha one or many? Explain Sankhya position in this regard and give arguments in support of your answer. कितने हैं पुरुष और फिनोमिनल? बहुत सारे. बस उसी के आर्गुमेंट्स हैं. आर्गुमेंट्स इसमें भी रहेंगे और उसी को एक्सप्लेन करना है. यस, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. हाउ डू अद्वैत वेदांत, ये तो हम करेंगे बाद में. Give this theory of causation, given its theory of causation. What is theory of causation of Sankhya? Satkaryavad. Is it possible for Sankhya to explain the presence of consciousness in the world? जो आप लोग पूछ रहे थे. Satkaryavad means effect is already produced in the, already present in the cause. This means Jagat is already present in the Prakriti. When Jagat comes out, how can you explain consciousness in the Jagat then? Is a consciousness already contained in Jagat? No. It is just a reflection. And Sankhya people have also accepted only it as a reflection. Nothing else. Uska koi concrete presence nahi hai. Purush nahi hai Jagat mein. पुरुष मतलब प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस, ट्रांसेंडेंटल ईगो नहीं है ना. इसमें कभी कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगा. ओके. हाउ टू इट critically examine the role of Prakriti in the process of evolution. Diagram, full chart. Okay. State and examine Sankhya's proof for the existence of Purush. Same question. First question and this question is same. Okay. Are the arguments given in favor of existence of Prakriti adequate in Sankhya philosophy? Again, the question repeated. See the third question and see this question, 10th. भाई proofs of Prakriti तो लिखना है यहाँ पे. Same question. Okay. Examine Sankhya's views of liberation, that self is neither bound nor liberates, nor does it transmigrate. बताओ इसका मतलब. जो बता देगा उसे कॉफी मिलेगी. Who is bound? Only the Sapadhik Purush. Real Purush, is it bound? No. Is it liberated? No, because it is beyond bondage and liberation. Will it die? No. Will it transmigrate? No. What transmigrates? Sapadhik Purush, only the reflection. वेरी गुड, यू हैव 1 कॉफी. हमारी कितनी कॉफी बाकी है? बाकी है क्या? बाकी है, कितनी बाकी है वही? हाँ, आपको तो मिल गई ना. किसकी बाकी है? आपकी बाकी है और किसी की और बाकी है? नहीं है ना. फालतू में तुम लोगों ने. हर्षित की बाकी है. हर्षदीप इज नॉट हियर. चलो ठीक है ना. टुडे वी विल हैव इट. ओके, इवैल्यूएट द रिलेशन इफ एनी बिटवीन पुरुष एंड प्रकृति. क्या रिलेशन है इन दोनों के बीच में? ये हम करेंगे अभी, अभी आएगा. ठीक है. एग्जामिन सांख्यास आर्ग्यूमेंट फॉर बहुपुरुषावाद. ये भी अभी हम देखेंगे. एक्सप्लेन सांख्यास डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ 3 गुणास. दिस इज अगेन अ रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन. ऊपर हमने देखा था सेम क्वेश्चन. सांख्यास कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पुरुषा, रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन. सांख्यास डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लिबरेशन, repeated question. Sankhya's theory of evolution of Prakriti, same repeated question. Evaluate Sankhya's justification for the theory of Purusha. Theory of Purusha means characteristics of Purushas and the arguments for Purusha. Repeated question. Sankhya's argument for existence of Prakriti. Repeated question. Again repeated. Then doctrine of plurality of Purusha. Repeated. Explain the nature of Prakriti and its evolution. Repeated. Sankhya's conception of Prakriti and its role. Repeated. Idea of liberation. Repeated. Explain and examine the Sankhya's argument for the existence of Prakriti and Purush. Arguments वही repeated. 2 question को मिला के बना दिया. There is no need for God in Sankhya and Yoga system as they are fully consistent even without God. We will see. ये योग जब हम theistic सांख्य पे आएंगे यानी योग पे आएंगे तब इसमें ये आ जाएगा इसकी clarity. Now tell me how many questions are there in Sankhya? कौन कौन से? First Purush, second is Prakriti, third is evolution, liberation, 3 gunas. ये सब interconnected ही तो है. Can you tell evolution without Purush and Prakriti? Can you tell Prakriti without Purush? Can you tell Purush without Prakriti? Can you tell liberation about telling all this without telling all the above? Only the proportion differs. Question कितने हैं? ज्यादा मन हो तो 2. क्या क्या है इसके अंदर? Nothing. So now let's see. Question मैंने इसलिए दिखाए हैं ताकि जब हम ये वाले आर्ग्यूमेंट्स अब पढ़ेंगे you will focus. Okay, come here. This metaphysics of Sankhya we have already read. Theory of 3 gunas we have already done. This evolution we have already done. Now come to this page. Why Prakriti is the cause of world? Why Prakriti is the cause of world according to Sankhya philosophy? Start. Now Sankhya people will give arguments. Why Prakriti is the cause of world? Because Vedanta and certain other philosophies have accepted consciousness to be the base of world. They started with Brahm. Brahm is the conscious principle and everything world is made up of Brahm. But Sankhyan people says that consciousness cannot be the cause of this world. Why? Because things are unconscious. This table is mountains are, river, all of these things are unconscious. Planets, moon, unconscious. Can a conscious principle become unconscious? Can a conscious principle become unconscious? It cannot become. Therefore, the world is made up of, or world is caused by something conscious or unconscious. जीव सिर्फ रिफ्लेक्शन है, कॉन्शियसनेस तो सिर्फ रिफ्लेक्शन में है. जगत किस चीज से बना है? Unconscious thing. And according to Sankhya, what is unconscious? Prakriti. समझ में आई? आर्गुमेंट की लाइन समझ में आई? According to Vedant, world is made up of consciousness, but Sankhya says that world cannot be made up of something conscious, because the things in the world are all unconscious. Therefore, the cause, if effect is unconscious, this means cause must be unconscious, because they share the same essence. They share the same essence. Therefore, cause must be something unconscious. What is unconscious according to Sankhya philosophy? Prakriti. First argument, that world or Jagat is made up of Prakriti. Second argument, Jainism and Nyaya Vaisheshik accept atoms to be the cause of this world. According to Nyaya Vaisheshik, world is created by coming together of numerous atoms. Now Sankhya people say that Ahankar, Mahat, Man, all of these things were also evolution. Evolution देखा था हम लोगों ने तब? In those 25 entities, can Mahat, Ahankar or Man be made up of atoms? Can Man be made up of atoms? Why can't it be made up? Because atoms are gross. Man is even subtler than atoms. यानी कि इन चीजों को बनाने के लिए एटम से भी सटल चीजें चाहिए. To form Man, we need something subtler than atoms. Therefore, according to Sankhya, even atoms are not the cause of world. What is? Prakriti. Because Prakriti is even subtler than atoms से भी छोटी है वो. उसके जो particles हैं वो atoms से भी छोटे. Subtler than that. Therefore, even though our man, intellect, and ahankar, identity or pride, are made up of material substance, but this substance is very subtle. And what is the subtlest? Prakriti. Therefore, world is made up of. Ultimately, Sankhya को क्या prove करना है? Jagat is made up of Prakriti. For this, they will have to reject or deny the causes accepted by others. What are the causes accepted by others? Vedanta said consciousness. Then how Sankhya rejected it? Objects of the world are unconscious. Therefore, the cause must be unconscious. What is unconscious? Prakriti. And Jain says, and Nyaya Vaisheshik says, atoms. World is made up of atoms. Then, why? Why world cannot be made up of atoms? Man, Ahankar and Mahat or Buddhi are very subtle products of evolution which cannot be made by atoms, which need even subtler particles, and for such subtle things are found only in Prakriti. अब पढ़ के देखो ये दोनों आर्गुमेंट्स पढ़ो और मुझे बताओ. But Prakriti can't only cause, because there is consciousness also in the world. Kamlesh, there is only the reflection of consciousness according to Sankhya. क्या हुआ? ठीक है? Buddhi, Mahat, Ahankar, Man, all are Prakriti. All are material in nature. That is why yesterday we said that according to science also, psychological expressions and emotions are material in nature. Consciousness is not buddhi. Saupadik Purush. Saupadik Purush. पुरुष तो liberated ही है. हाँ. Criticism. That is why we criticize that they have confused between So does what happens if reflection becomes clear, like where it goes back? Huh? Reflection कहाँ जाता है? क्योंकि वो क्या था? Initially क्या है? So it is like consciousness. Where does consciousness belong? Main Purush? The transcendental Purush? Fine. It was only because of the reflection that one got embroiled into this world. But ultimately, whatever the consciousness is, all consciousness belongs to Purush only. Once the liberation is done, we realize we are the Purush only, na? Haan. Yeah. But it is the realization. Nobody goes anywhere. It is the realization of self. कि मैं ही तो पुरुष हूँ. पुरुष क्या? Consciousness क्या है? Consciousness सिर्फ पुरुष की है. So the moment you realize yourself, you become free from Prakriti. अब इसी चीज को बाद में वेदांत हाँ भ्रम के साथ आइडेंटिटी को कन्वर्ट कर लेगा. वो हम लेटर ऑन देखेंगे. Body is material, it will dissolve back to Prakriti. Yes. Consciousness realizes whether it's its own nature, the Purush. No, it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. Rebirth के लिए कह रहे हो? After liberation तो कुछ नहीं, खत्म. It realizes, consciousness realizes its own self. What is it? My true nature is Purush only. बस खत्म. देखो नेगेटिव भी है. Because happiness and sadness both are bounding. So what kind of liberation does it aspire for? Neutral. Very neutral. Neutral like Purush. Purush is also neutral. Did we ever say Purush is happiness? Bliss? No. What we said? Purush is only conscious. Perfect. And uncaring. What else? Udasin. all those qualities. This means the moment we realize ourselves, we become udasin, not happy, but not even sad. Something very neutral. Is it very attractive? It's not very attractive. Ah.
Trying to attract the person, but in clarity, subconscious, then why, how can
Analogy. Only analogy. Ma'am, please repeat the atoms wala argument. So, when we were doing evolution, we saw that Prakriti evolves into Mahat, Ahankar, and Man, apart from all the other things. Now, these three things are very subtle in nature. And because they are very subtle in nature, they are not explained on the basis of atoms. They cannot be made by atoms. It requires something more subtle than atoms. According to Sankhya philosophy, what is more subtle than atoms? Prakriti. Therefore, according to them, world can only be made, or Jagat can only be made up of Prakriti and not atoms. So, agar question aa jaye, what are the arguments given by Sankhya philosophy to prove that the Jagat is made up of Prakriti? What will you write? These arguments. Fine? Okay. Now, let us read proofs for existence of Prakriti. अब जब हम proofs पढ़ रहे हैं, I will like to give you a warning. हाँ? Proofs सांख्य ने खुद ही को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए दिए हैं. Proofs में लॉजिक ढूंढने की कोशिश ना करें. If I believe in something, then I can prove it by giving any number of arguments. Just like that. Fine? Okay. First proof is Bhedanam Parimanat. Bhedanam Parimanat. हिंदी के टर्म्स संस्कृत के टर्म्स है, रटने ही पड़ेंगे. ठीक है? हाँ, मतलब है, लेकिन all individual things in the world are finite, limited, and dependent and conditional. So all the things in the world are finite, limited, dependent, temporary. Therefore, there must be something, logically, there must be something which is not dependent, which is not finite, which is not temporary, which is not conditional. What is it? Prakriti. अगर कुछ finite है तो कुछ infinite भी तो होगा ना? Logically, according to Sankhya. Second, Samanvayat. All the worldly things. अभी मैं पढ़ने के लिए दूंगी, तुम्हें टाइम दूंगी, don't worry. जितनी चीजें हैं दुनिया में, all the worldly things invoke in us three types of emotions: pleasure, pain, and indifference. Therefore, all the things must be made by something which has all the three qualities or all the three gunas. And what is it which has all the three gunas? Prakriti. Argument number 2. Argument number 3. All effect arise from the activity of potent cause. हर activity के लिए क्या चाहिए? Cause चाहिए. The activity generating evolution must be inherent in the world cause, which is हर चीज के लिए activity चाहिए. तो वर्ल्ड को क्रिएट करने की एक्टिविटी किसके पास है? वर्ल्ड. सच अ बिग थिंग. हु कैन क्रिएट वर्ल्ड? प्रकृति. फोर्थ, कारण कार्य विभागात. इफेक्ट डिफर्स फ्रॉम कॉज. As this world cannot be its own cause, can the world be its own cause? There must be some cause of this world where it must be implicitly present. And where the world is implicitly present? Prakriti. Wait. Curd cannot be its own cause. There must be milk where this curd is present. Similarly, Jagat cannot be its own cause. There must be a cause in which this Jagat is present. And where is this Jagat present? Prakriti. Argument number 4 हो गया. 5. Avibhagat Vaishvarupasya. The unity of the universe points towards a single cause. There is so many things. And all the things must point towards one unity. कहीं ना कहीं combine होना चाहिए ना इतनी सारी diversity. When we say diversity, it logically implies unity. Therefore, there must be something which is one as a cause for all the effect. And what is that one? प्रकृति. हाँ, तो जितना भी तुम लोगों को लॉजिकल इलॉजिकल लग रहा है यही है. हाँ, close to science, non-science. But what are the 5 major arguments to support Prakriti? These are these 5. Apart from that, there are 2. If you have to accept the cause, if you go back, iska cause kya hai, iska cause kya hai, you always reach the first cause, and that first cause is Prakriti. 7th, Purush, which is pure consciousness, cannot be the cause of this world because the world is of the nature unconscious. It requires an unconscious cause, which is Prakriti. वो repeated है, वहां से लिया हुआ है. ठीक है, तो कितने आर्गुमेंट्स हैं हमारे पास? 7. क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली क्या आता है? How has Sankhyan philosophy proved the existence of Prakriti? उसमें हमें क्या लिखना है? ठीक है, याद कर लोगे या करवाऊं? हाँ, पढ़ लोगे ना? कर लोगे पक्का? इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स बता दो चलो बस मुझे, सिर्फ इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स. व्हाट इज मोर सटलर देन प्रकृति और पुरुष? प्रकृति इज सटलर. पुरुष और प्रकृति के बीच में थोड़े ना कंपैरिजन है. प्रकृति एंड एटम्स के बीच में कंपैरिजन है अमन. पुरुष इज कॉन्शियसनेस. After Videha Mukti, reflection goes away. Yes. Ma'am, how can we become free from Prakriti but still not go anywhere? That would mean we are still bound by Prakriti. It's basically not bound in that sense. It's about attachment. Attachment to Prakriti. पढ़ लिया? Clear? What is the first keyword? Finite and finite. Okay. Second, 3 gunas. 3 gunas. Fine. Third, potent cause. Fourth, effect differs from its cause. Fifth, unity and diversity. हाँ, सिंगल कॉज कर लो. ठीक है, फाइन. ठीक है. Of course, the moment somebody will give arguments to prove Prakriti, somebody will criticize. What are the critical comments for Prakriti? ये भी उतने ही लॉजिकल हैं जितने आर्ग्यूमेंट्स थे. First is Sankhyan conception of Prakriti is a mere abstraction. Isn't it an abstraction? It is. Imagination, abstraction. Second, If Prakriti is unconscious and unintelligent, then evolution must be mechanical and blind. And there cannot be any freedom of will or teleology. कोई purpose हो सकता है क्या unconscious thing में? Can there be a purpose of this table? If Prakriti is unconscious, can Prakriti have a purpose? No. But Sankhyan people have given it a purpose. What is the purpose? Darshanartham. You remember? What is the purpose of Prakriti? The Prakriti wants to show herself to Purush. Prakriti wants that Purush should have darshan of Prakriti, darshan artham. And because she wants to show herself, she evolves into Jagat. Purpose दे दिया एक unconscious चीज को. Can an unconscious thing have purpose? No. Foundation में है. No. So there are two kinds of ऐसे समझो कि evolution is not negative completely because it helps in realization of self for the Purush. Because Purush is also having a purpose. What is that purpose? Kaivalya Artham. Purush wants to achieve Kaivalya. अब again confusion. वो तो पहले ही free था. वो क्यों Kaivalya लेगा? है ना? Why does that Purush need Kaivalya if it is already free? But here when they are talking about Saupadik Purush, but they use the term Purush. सारा confusion ही सिर्फ terms का है. Purpose. Teleology means purpose. Fine. Second, clear? That unconscious thing cannot have purpose, but Sankhya philosophy gave purpose even to unconscious Prakriti, which is not possible. Second, unintelligent Prakriti cannot evolve this world of order, harmony, design, and purpose. Can unconscious thing design? Can it have order? Can it have purpose? But when we see this world, do we see order? Do we see purpose? Do we see some design? The same time the cloud goes up, the rain comes, then the same spring, summer, winter season is coming. Isn't it there is an order? Day, night, order. But if something is unintelligent, can it have order? No. Then Prakriti, how can it have order? समझ में आ गई? प्रकृति अनकॉन्शियस है तो ऑर्डर हो ही नहीं सकता, लेकिन जगत में तो ऑर्डर है. Design is like beauty, nature, forest, ponds, waterfalls, all of these are designs. Then fourth is Prakriti is not independent as it depends on Purush to evolve this world. आप लोगों ने बता ही दिया था ये वाला. Fifth, if activity belongs to Prakriti, but Prakriti is unconscious and cannot enjoy its fruits, then it goes against the moral law of karma. Who is active? देखो पुरुष तो active है नहीं, पुरुष तो inactive है, हमने लिखा है. अभी हमने जब पुरुष पढ़ा था last time, so पुरुष is inactive. What is active? Prakriti. Now who is doing actions? Prakriti. But who is suffering? Purush. The one who is doing karma is not suffering. The one who is not doing karma is suffering. It goes against the moral law of karma. Random. दिमाग नहीं ज्यादा. बट असली कारण क्या है सांख्य में? The motivation to act comes from consciousness. सांख्य क्या बोलेंगे? भाई कॉन्शियस है तभी तो मोटिवेशन आ रहा है, तभी तो एक्शन डायरेक्टेड हो रहा है. And even in legal terms, when we talk about mens rea. What is mens rea? Intent. Mens rea पता है सबको? नहीं पता? किसको नहीं पता? Oh, okay. A lot of people. So when we talk in legal terms, even if we have all the evidence, we still search for mens rea. What is mens rea? It is the intent or purpose. कि खून क्यों किया होगा? What is the motive behind the murder? What is the motive behind this? So the motive is always very important before we give any verdict and punishment. And who can have mens rea or intention? Something conscious. तो सांख्य वो वाला बोलेंगे, criticizers ये वाला आर्ग्यूमेंट देंगे. ठीक है? पहले पढ़ो तो सही उसे, समझ में आ जाएगा. इट्स नॉट समथिंग डिफिकल्ट, इट इज जस्ट बेसिक लॉजिकल इंग्लिश. पढ़ो के देखो उसे. इट्स लाइक प्रकृति इज नॉट इंडिपेंडेंट as it depends on Purusha to evolve this world, because if this world has to be evolved, it requires both Prakriti and Purush. नहीं, तुम बता रहे हो, पूछ रहे हो. बगल वाले से पूछो, उनको भी अब बेहतर आता है. Okay. Sankhyan school calls Prakriti as impersonal, yet its description is full of personal notes like chaste, dancing girl, feminine, all of these terms. Firstly, they are calling it impersonal. And then they are giving so many personal terminologies to it. Should you call ultimate reality as dancing girl? मतलब ये डांसिंग गर्ल सुन के फील भी नहीं आ रहा कि अल्टीमेट रियलिटी है. So the kind of personal notes Sankhyan have used for ultimate reality are not very right and decent. Seventh, the relation of Prakriti and Purush cannot be explained. We will see what cannot be explained, why this relation is not explainable. We will see, है ना? अभी इसके बाद आएगा. तो प्रकृति के कितने क्रिटिसिज्म्स हैं? इतने लिख पाओगे इसलिए इतने दिए हैं. मिल तो और भी जाएंगे, है ना? First, you remember these 7. If you want more, then go to C.D. Sharma and find more. Clear? So question is जो कल लिख कर लेकर आओगे. Monday. The one which you will write and come on Monday. How Sankhya, या फिर रुको. Write this. या फिर रुको, थर्ड की जगह पे ये लिखो, 10th लिखो. Let's start with something easy. है ना? ये लो, 10th. Are the arguments given in favor of existence of Prakriti adequate in Sankhya philosophy? Discuss. मैं बोल रही हूँ. Are the arguments are the arguments given in favor of existence of Prakriti. Given in favor of existence of Prakriti adequate in Sankhya philosophy. Discuss. 10 marks. Ma'am, is CD Sharma required? I felt the notes were enough when I was writing test on Indian philosophy. Notes are enough, but there is no cure for lust and greed. But if you want to, if you are having complete command on notes, then definitely you should go for some improvement, but only after complete command over notes. Okay, fine. So Purush. क्या हुआ? बच्चों ने कॉपियां मतलब सम ultimate reality is Purush और Prakriti both. It's a dualistic school. क्या मतलब कैसे तुम लोग Okay, fine. The thing is, देखो, tomorrow we will finish. आज हम Monday. You read and come. ठीक है? There is nothing very great in this. Just read and come. Not the arguments of Purush, but just come reading theory of evolution, which we have done. है ना? Theory of evolution. Write one more question. You will come after writing these two questions. What are the arguments given by Sankhya philosophy in favor of Satkaryavad? In favor of Satkaryavad. एक और क्वेश्चन लिख लो, 3 क्वेश्चन लिख लाना. Explain the Sankhya doctrine of 3 gunas. Explain the Sankhya doctrine of 3 gunas. Fine? 3 questions only. 10. कल अपन वो करेंगे existentialism. Tomorrow we will do existentialism. ये हिंदी वाला कौन है बच्चा? हाँ, ये तो राइटिंग तो भरत की है ना? चलो
All what we